Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Strongman Personal Finance. Today is February 6th, 2026 at 8:41 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we are going to cover the morning movements in the stock market. We're also going to cover the Microstrategy earnings slide deck, depending on how long it is. And then we're going to see why people think that Amazon is selling off. Amazon posted some great earnings, but the stock is down a little bit. So let's jump right into it so we have some time to go over Microstrategy. I'm sure their presentation is going to be 1,000 different pages. All right, so what's going on in the stock market this morning? Well, looks like we're mostly green in the pre-market. We got SCHD, the Schwab dividend ETF, up 0.42%. We got Chinese stocks up 1.41%. Total International roaring back up 1.27%. The Vanguard Total World Index ETF up 0.82%. Oh, it's beating SCHD today. Man. The S&P 500 is up 0.62%. Total US is up 0.77%. QQQ is up 0.78%. And small caps are up almost 1.5%. Very, very green morning, especially for globally diversified gigachads. All right, that's exciting. Cryptocurrency. Oh, we got a rally in cryptocurrency. It looks like the day has been saved. Maybe we've reached the bottom. I hope not. XRP up almost 12%. Stock most probably.
Oh, see, I told you guys. I told you guys to buy.
XRP's up 11.9%. Solana, if it actually loads, is up 7.36%. Cardano, even Cardano's up, baby, up 5%. Dogecoin up 4%. Still horrible chart there. Bitcoin up 3.68%, trading at 67,233 a coin. Man, I should have bought the dip. What was I thinking? Even Trump coin is up. Even Trump coin, after this just disastrous year and some change of it just selling off nonstop. Ethereum still hasn't broken 2,000, but up 2.31%, trading at 1,951 a coin. Bitmine Immersion up 8%, and Microstrategy, after just absolutely amazing earnings, up 8.7%. So we got a pretty solid green day, or at least a solid green start to cryptocurrency. Markets are up and crypto's up. We got mega cap tech here. The biggest loser is Amazon, down 8.4% in the pre-market. It's going to open at roughly, if it stays the same, $204. Okay. Pretty big hit after their earnings. We got Microsoft finally catching a bid, breaking through 400 again per share, up 1.78%. AMD's up 3%. Tesla's up 1.23%. NVIDIA up 3%, trading at 177 in the pre-market. Google McDougal down 1%. Apple down very slightly. Meta down very slightly. And Netflix up very slightly. Man, some of these big tech companies do not have pretty charts recently, but mostly green in big tech. The biggest loser is Amazon. Let's check out the YouTuber stocks. Okay, we got Fubo up. We got Reddit up 6%. Reddit reported yesterday. I did not have time to look at their earnings. Reddit's up 6.26%, trading at 160.50 a share. Even Duolingo is up. Even Duolingo is up 2.59%. High Tide's up 3.5%. PayPal coming back above $40 a share, up 0.9%. PP Pills just getting wrecked, down 7%, trading at $21.80 per share. Hims has just been woo. Buy the dip, boys, with a couple $100. Bros up slightly. Dave's coming back, baby. I believe didn't they just report earnings? I don't know why it's not saying it on here. Dave is up 14.15%, trading at 177.99 in the pre-market. Palantir's up 4.4%. Robinhood coming back because crypto's coming back. funny. This company trades with crypto. That's adorable. Robinhood's up 6%. And even Quantum's up about 4%. So mostly green in the YouTuber stocks, except for him selling off 7%. Is there any news on Hims? Hims and Hers falls as FDA to target illegal copycat substances. Is Hims dealing in illegal copycat substances? Okay. Well, I guess that's why Hims is selling off. They must be up to some dirty shenanigans. Let's see. Why is Dave up? Let's see what the news is. All right. Dave reports preliminary fourth quarter revenue of 100. Oh, preliminary. Okay. So I guess they didn't drop their earnings. They just gave us like a taste of what their earnings were going to be. Yeah. They said their fourth quarter revenue of 164 million. I guess that's above expectations. All right. So mostly green in the YouTuber stocks. We got bonds basically flat going into the open. Bonds are important, people. We got TLT down 0.1%. So I guess treasury yields are ticking up ever so slightly. BND is completely flat. SGov up very slightly, accruing interest. All right. Commodities. We got oil down 0.6%, a tiny, tiny decrease. We got gold up again, almost at all-time highs, up 2.54%. Silver rallying again, but still down about 30% from its all-time highs, up 2.74%. Let's see. Let's check out the chips. What's the moves on the chippies? All right. We got Micron up 3.48%. ASML up 1.66%. Broadcom up 3.44%. Basically all green in the chippies. Everything's green. Intel breaking almost $50 this morning. AMD, we already saw that. Even Qualcomm up 0.5%. And CoreWeave up almost 5%. All right. Let's see. These are the subscriber requested items. So if you want your stock or ETF or crypto to be looked at every single morning and every single market close, you Venmo me $5 or you super chat me $5 and I'll add your little stunk or crypto or ETF to this list. So we got the Energy Select ETF, Energy Sector ETF up 0.75 percentage point. And we have the Schwab 1000 ETF up 1.25%. Not too bad. Not too bad, people. So we got green in the stock market and we got green in the crypto market. Everything's green, bro. The exceptions are him selling off because of copycats, apparently. And we got Amazon down about 8%. All right, so let's go see what's going on in the news. We'll do some member-only comments real quick first. All right, what's up, Pay Pigs? What's up, Why So Bluetube? I wonder if MicroStrategy turned around in the aftermarket shortly after Sailor posted HODL on X. I mean, there's always dip buyers coming in. Oh, man, skipping non-member comments. Ouch. If you want me to answer your comments, join the membership. What website is that? What website? What am I? You mean what I'm looking at? That's it's Webull. It's an app. Random question, Strawman. What do you think of the bonds being next to go up? I was remembering what Gil said, and it's actually a rational possibility. What's the good and bad side of it, in your opinion? Well, bonds are related to interest rates. So if longer term yields start going down, yeah, bonds will go up. When that's going to happen or how that's going to happen, I don't know. I mean, yields have basically stayed in the fours, on the longer end for a while. So I don't know what it's going to take for those yields to come down. But if they do start coming down, yeah, bonds could go up. They could also go down if we have more Trump drama and we have like a big tariff war or some craziness goes on. Then guess what? Yields could go up again. Remember the whole fiasco with Liberation Day and yields went absolutely ballistic? Yeah. So with bonds, I mean, if you have long-term bonds, you're collecting the interest, and you can also get capital gains if yields start to go down. But you can also get capital losses if yields start to go up. So bonds are not that safe. At short-term bonds are your safest. I asked Gemini, and it said Microstrategy won't be under extreme pressure to pay back debt until 2028. So if Bitcoin skyrockets by then, they'll be fine. Yeah, I mean, they're not at immediate risk of liquidation. They're not immediately going to, because they have that $2 billion cash reserve to pay the Ponzi scheme payments. But long run, I just don't trust a company that buys a clown token. I expect my XLE ETF to reach 75 this year. My entry, maybe. I actually bought an entire Bitcoin in 2018 for 6,500, but sold it at 5K when it was crashing back then, unfortunately. Yeah, it's hard to hold. Poor VT so far behind Shadad. Not today, bussy boy. I did the same, but then it crashed. I bought my account daily. Yeah, it's hard to hold crypto. It's so volatile. It is so volatile. It's easy to be like, I'm done with this nonsense. All right, that's the member-only comments for now. If you want me to read your comments, join the membership. It's $5 a month. Stop being cheap. Stop being brokies. All right, let's see. What's reporting for earnings today? Philip Morris reports this morning. Biogen, AirCap, the Carlyle Group. Kind of boring day of earnings today. Anything exciting? Auto Nation, Piper Sandler. Under Armour, okay. Man, boring. Gorman Rupp Company, Proto Labs. Is there anything that I would even remotely want to cover here? No. Okay, lame day of earnings. Whatever. All right, let's see what the God Emperor's up to on Truth Social. Very pertinent to the market. All right, so he's reposting something about Mila Joy from Mila Joy. Looks like an old interview with Trump. Okay. Something about CNN and Mar-a-Lago. Can we have any stock market news? Can we have a new trade war or something? Okay. Yeah. Not really seeing any stock market related news on Trump's Truth Social. Julian Assange said there was no dirt on President Trump. Megyn Kelly. Old Megyn Kelly. Super Bowl. Guess who's not watching the Super Bowl? Me. All right, really nothing going on with Donald Trump's Truth Social. Unfortunately, he always brings me comedic relief in the morning. All right, FOMC meets in 40 days and 5 hours. There's an 83% chance now that rates remain the same between 350 and 375 basis points, and a 16.8% chance that there is a 25 basis point cut. Okay, now this is on the short end, so it doesn't necessarily impact the long end. So that doesn't mean that if we start cutting short-term rates, that doesn't mean long-term bonds are going to start going up. All right, the dollar's selling off a little bit. The DXY is at 97.72, down 0.23%. That'll boost international a little bit today. I love it. Treasury yields. This is what you need to watch if you're in longer, intermediate, or longer-term bonds. We got the 10-year trading at 4.2%. And the 30-year trading at 4.86%. So if you see these start going down, yeah, you're going to make money with bonds. Honestly, with bonds, you actually can almost time bonds. Okay, so imagine if you bought long-term bonds now and then rates drop to zero. What more returns are you going to get? What more returns are you going to get if rates are at zero? If I had intermediate term bonds, which I do, and rates went down to like 1 or 2%, I'm probably liquidating them, being perfectly honest, because the only way you can go is down from there. I mean, there's negative rates. There were negative rates in Europe at one point. I don't care. I'm not pinning my hopes on negative rates. Anyway, so yeah, not a lot of moves in these longer term bonds. So this is where especially for TLT, this is where you need to look, the 30-year. And if you see rates start dropping, TLT is going to fly. All right, let's see what happened with Amazon. No, I don't want your stupid ads. Get out of here. Amazon stock falls 8% on $200 billion spending forecast. Earnings miss. Yeah, some companies can forecast lots of spending, and that's fine. Others cannot. But yeah, Amazon's going ballistic with spending. I believe they spent $139 billion last year, 2025, and now they're guiding for a pretty significant increase to $200 billion in 2026. It's kind of the same story. Whenever Amazon starts spending a bunch of money, the market freaks out. But really, it's all about whether they're spending money on good investments. If the investments are good, then yeah, it'll pay off. All right, so they posted mixed results. They expect capital expenditures to hit roughly $200 billion. Okay, we know that. All right, here's what the company did. Earnings per share of 1.95 versus 1.97 estimated. Slight miss on EPS. And a beat on revenue, $213.39 billion versus $211.33 billion estimated. Wall Street was also looking at other key revenue numbers. AWS, $35.58 billion versus $34.93 billion expected, so they beat on AWS revenue. And advertising revenue, they beat as well, $21.32 billion versus $21.16 billion. So beat on all the revenue metrics and a slight miss on earnings per share. All right, so it expects capital expenditures to climb as it aggressively invests in data centers and other infrastructure to meet the surge in demand for AI. Shocker. CapEx expected to be $200 billion this year, while analysts were expecting $146 billion. Really? Really? $146 billion, that's like a slight uptick from 2025. Oh, okay, here it is. Their expenditures were roughly $131 billion. I was close. I thought it was $139 billion. So they're guiding for year over year a 52% increase in capital expenditures. Yeah, I mean, I'm not even sure they have the operating cash flow to pay for all this CapEx. So they might do some borrowings or share issuance, or just maybe dip into the balance sheet a little bit. But free cash flow is going to be very low in 2026. With such strong demand for our existing offerings and opportunities, we expect to invest $200 million in capital expenditures. Jassy said the spending would predominantly go to AWS, where non-AI workloads are growing at a faster rate than we anticipated. Okay, so they're spending to keep up with demand. Wow. Last October, they opened an $11 billion AI data center called Project Rainier, built exclusively to run workloads from Anthropic. All right, I think this sell-off is a nothing burger. If you believe in AI and you believe they're going to print profits in the long run, this is nothing. We have very high demand. Customers really want AWS. Well, that's horrible. Sell the stock. Tech companies have laid out aggressive spending plans. Google said it the Wednesday it expects to spend between 175 to 185 billion, while Meta said it expects to spend between 115 to 135 billion. Okay. Revenue's cloud computing unit expanded revenue 24%, topping analyst estimates. AWS had the fastest growth in 13 quarters. Okay. While Amazon remains the cloud infrastructure leader, it has been trying to fight the perception that it's losing ground to Google and Microsoft. Last week, Microsoft Azure recorded growth of 39%, and Google's cloud revenue increased 48%. Yeah, because roughly half of their operating income comes from AWS. So it is kind of important that they continue to grow that. All right. For the current quarter, they expect sales to be between 173 to 178 billion, representing growth of 11 to 15%. Analysts were expecting 175.6 billion, so right smack dab in the middle. All right. They're also downsizing headcount. Advertising business hums along. Revenue grew 23%. I mean, everything seems good overall. I don't see the big issue, unless they're just absolutely blowing the 200 million or 200 billion of capital expenditures forecasted, but I don't think they're going to do that. So whatever. I don't think Amazon's going bankrupt. All right. So the capstone of our stock market open, we're going to check out Microstrategy's presentation. Now, these presentations are usually long, so I don't know how long I can stand this, but we will get into it. All right, let's see. Financial performance. Andrew Kang. He's a Kang. All right, so the strategy highlights: 713,502 Bitcoins, 3.4% of Bitcoin ever to be in existence. Excuse me. And they raised $25.3 billion. $25.3 billion were given by morons to MicroStrategy. They listed 5 preferreds. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm trying to wake up here. These are preferred. This is preferred stock that is not paying dividends. They're paying return of capital. So it's fake. It's fake dividends. All right. Corporate highlights. Adoption of FASB fair value accounting starting in Q1 2025. This is why you see the huge swings in earnings. So how it works is when Bitcoin goes up, that gets reported as a profit on their financial statements. And when Bitcoin goes down, it gets recorded as a loss. It's marking up and down to the fair value of their Bitcoin assets. That's why they had a huge loss this quarter, because Bitcoin dropped precipitously. And if Bitcoin doesn't recover for Q1, they're going to have another massive loss. All right. No camped. Treasury IRS guidance clarified no unrealized capital gains tax on Bitcoin. We should change that. S&P credit rating, first ever rating of a Bitcoin treasury company by a major credit rating agency. A USD reserve. This will keep them alive for a while. Basically, they raise capital from new investors, and they take that new capital and they give it to old investors that own the preferred shares. So the $2.25 billion provides 2.5 years of dividend coverage. They're not dividends. And index inclusion. Why are we get out of here? All right. Strategy, earnings per share results. All right. Q4 2025, operating income negative $17.4 billion. That's all because of cryptocurrency. Net income, this is operating income after interest and taxes. 12.6 billion, and earnings per share negative 42.93 per share. Oh boy. For the full year 2025, negative 5.4 billion of operating income and negative 4.2 billion of net income. Earnings per share of negative 15.23. And just keep in mind, this is not cash flow. There's no cash flow at all. This is just Bitcoin going up and down. That's it. All right. That's funny. Okay, FY 2025. So here are their targets for Bitcoin. They had a target of 85,000 of Bitcoin on the low end and 110,000 on the high end. I guess they kind of missed that one. Bitcoin per share results. Okay, I'm a little confused here. Reflects the incremental value generated through strategy treasury operations. So they have Bitcoin yield 22.8%. How? You're down on your average cost. Bitcoin gain 101. I guess that's just adding Bitcoins. Bitcoin gain in billions, 8.9 billion. I'm not understanding these metrics. All right, let's see what it says. Presented for illustrative purposes only. Bitcoin yield is not equivalent to yield in the traditional finance context. Yeah, no crap. Bitcoin yields nothing. He's just taking words and changing the definition of them. I guess to confuse people. It's confusing me. And Bitcoin gain is not equivalent to a gain in the traditional financial context. Okay, it has a yield, but it's not actually a yield. And it has a gain, but it's not actually a gain. Bitcoin gain does not represent the fair value gain on our Bitcoin holdings. Refer to the appendix to learn more about it. It's so stupid. This is so misleading. So misleading. How can this be allowed? All right, they've consistently delivered Bitcoin yield since 2022. Okay. Yeah, if you just change the definition of a word, yeah, I guess it is yielding, guys. It's yielding. Yeah. The balance sheet update. 35 billion increase in digital assets value. Yeah, and that's after the losses. So they probably spent more buying the digital assets, and now it's down to 35 billion. So the net increase was 35 billion, but that's from buying. That's not from gains. All right, so the digital assets value on their balance sheet as of December 2025 was 58.9 billion, and they have 2.3 billion of cash. Deferred tax liability, long-term debt, 8.2 billion of long-term debt, 6.9 billion of preferred equity, and 44.2 billion of common equity. It's so crazy. Okay, they recognize a deferred tax liability on the balance sheet calculated based on the market value of the Bitcoin holdings less the cost basis of the Bitcoin. I would imagine, wouldn't that be shouldn't it be an asset? If they're going to have capital losses, right? Assuming they sold, which apparently, I don't know why they're even doing this, because apparently he's never going to sell, bro. But I would imagine it'd be a deferred tax asset, right? Because everything's down. You're down overall on your cost basis. I don't know why they have a deferred tax liability. That's weird. All right, $14 billion decline in digital asset value. All right, let's see what happened here. All right, so on September 30th, 2025, Bitcoin holdings market value was $73 billion. Then they lost $17.2 billion, but then they purchased $3.1 billion. And then they had a slight price change based on Q4 purchases of negative $200 million. So their Bitcoin holdings market value dropped down to $58.9 billion. Yeah, so it dropped pretty precipitously based on losses. The only positive upswing in their market value was because they bought more. All right, their average price this quarter, excuse me. Oh, God. Oh. Their average price this quarter was $94,986, and it's trading at like 67,000. Okay. And then now their total cost basis is 87,515. Losers. All right, 17 billion increase in digital assets value. Oh, look where all the increase came from by buying it. They had nothing but losses on the crypto's value, but they plowed in $22.5 billion in 2025 at an average price of just under 100,000 per coin. Morons. All right. Let's see. So they got 2.5 years of dividend coverage to the USD reserve. Okay. Let's see. These yields are fake. Fake yields. Fake yields. So the cumulative dividend costs of their cumulative dividends on preferred equity are $713 million a year. And then for non-cumulative dividends, STRD, up 100. It costs them $140 million a year of interest or dividends, excuse me. And then their interest on debt costs them $35 million a year. So I mean, they do have cash reserves for a little bit, like they can weather a short-term storm, but unfortunately, they're going to eventually burn through that, and then they're going to have to raise more capital. Otherwise, they're going to have to, guess what? Sell their Bitcoin. All right. Let's see. MSCI is conducting a consultation on a proposal whether to exclude companies whose primary business involves Bitcoin or other digital asset treasury activities from the MSCI Global Investable Market Indices. Yes, you should do that. If digital asset holdings represent 50% or more of their assets. And then the MSCI announcement. MSCI is determined at the time not to implement the proposal to exclude what? Those bussies. So they actually had a big-brained moment at MSCI where they said, hey, maybe we should exclude these ridiculous, clownish companies from being included in our beautiful index. And then they bussied out. All right. It says, however, MSCI intends to open a broader consultation on the treatment of non-operating companies. This broader review is intended to ensure consistency and continued alignment with the overall objectives of the index, which seek to measure the performance of operating companies and exclude entities whose primary activities are investment-oriented in nature. This isn't even investment-oriented. This is just clownish degeneracy. Why are you busting out? Exclude this nonsense from your indices. We can't do that. Oh. All right. What is this? Join us at Strategy World in Las Vegas at the Wynn. Are you guys going? I'm going. Yeah, I'm totally going. Las Vegas, February 23 to 26. Okay, yep, we know they're buying Bitcoin. Robust access to capital markets. So obnoxious. So obnoxious. Strategy was the largest U.S. equity issuer in 2025. If that doesn't scream clown market, I don't know what does. Banking partners. Institutional analysts have embraced Bitcoin. Oh, let's see their price. Let's see these random price targets that we just pulled out of our butts. Yeah. Every single Bitcoin price target is complete and utter nonsense. They're pulling this out of their rectums. These are all made up. Look at this, the benchmark. Price target 705, Bernstein 450. They're paying analysts to make up stupid numbers with no actual backing. It's obnoxious. Digital credit. Oh, it's a future of credit, bro. We issue preferred stock and then we pay you through Ponzi scheme payments. It's so fake. It's so fake. Let's see. Stretch is treasury credit designed to provide income, price stability, and liquidity. There is no income. You're getting your money back. Monthly dividends, not a dividend. Return of capital treatment expected for 10 plus years. Return of capital treatment for 10 plus years. So stupid. I can't believe this. Strategy's leverage remains well below the S&P 500 universe. Yes, we have such a great balance sheet while we buy our clownish cryptocurrency. Converts are fully covered even after a 90% Bitcoin price decline. Oh, God. Can this company just go away? Our Bitcoin reserve creates long-term durability. 67 years of dividend coverage. Yeah, but they'd have to start selling if they had to use it. Okay. USD reserve. I mean, they were smart to do this because they got to keep the Ponzi scheme going a little bit longer, so they need some cash to keep paying the Ponzi scheme. All right, B- from credit issuers. Expanding the distribution and awareness of Stretch. Oh, look who they're targeting here. Brokerages, including Robinhood and Cash App. They're targeting the dumbest of the dumb. The dumbest of the dumb. The ignorant of the ignorant. You want a 11% fake yield? Yeah, it's income. It's income. And they're targeting Robinhood people. Wealth management broker dealers, RIAs. Yeah, if your financial advisor tells you to buy Stretch, fire them instantly. Integration into crypto and TradFi products. TradFi. And tokenization and ETF integrations. Industry conferences, leverage finance events, teach-in sessions for advisors, brokers, and family offices. Okay, so this is their strategy to convince people to buy their fake dividend nonsense. It's targeting Robinhood. Shocker. Oh, they're talking about the Fetty Wap here. Look at this. Okay. What's going on here? Microstrategy common equities amplified Bitcoin. Yes. Annualized asset performance since we adopted the Bitcoin strategy. Microstrategy, 58% returns. Bitcoin, 43 max. Guys, what am I doing buying stocks? I'm a clown. Since August 10th, 2020, MicroStrategy's returned 100, 1,000, and 111%. Why would you buy the Max 7 when you could buy MicroStrategy, you fool? So crazy. Man, look at this. This is just insane. This is just insane. Like the presentation just goes and goes. All right. The objective of doubling Bitcoin per share in 7 years through digital credit. Sell digital credit. Target selling digital credit equal to 10 to 20% of Bitcoin reserves annually. Okay, bring in more suckers to the Ponzi scheme. Generate amplification, increase Bitcoin per share, and outperform Bitcoin. Oh, wow. How embarrassing. Donald J. Trump is the Bitcoin president. No, he just got money from the crypto industry. You think he actually cares about crypto? He's using crypto to enrich himself and his family. Okay. Yeah, that's what he's doing. Oh, he's the Bitcoin super, the Bitcoin superpower. Yeah, America. America. We have Bitcoin. Yeah. The crypto capital of the world and the leader in digital assets. What a freaking joke. The government has embraced Bitcoin. Yeah, they paid us lots of money to help us get elected. So now we're embracing it, bro. What a freaking joke. Disgusting. This makes America look so bad. So bad. Capitol Hill has embraced Bitcoin, yet bought and paid for. The most disgusting, corrupt government I've ever seen. And that goes for both sides.
Oh, give me money and I'll do whatever you want, Daddy.
Oh. All right, so we got all these acts here. Big banks have embraced Bitcoin. Yeah, you want to know why? Because they want to make money, morons. They make money off you trading and holding the ETFs. What? Really? No, they just like it, bro. Yeah. How naive of you. All right. So they're just showing that crypto's the future, bro. ETFs have embraced Bitcoin. Yeah, because they can charge management fees. More companies are embracing Bitcoin. Publicly traded companies with Bitcoin on the balance sheet, 194. Yeah, 194 freaking turds. Coinbase, Block, Robinhood. Just everything is crazy. All right, Bitcoin FUD is inevitable. The new FUD is the quantum FUD. Our position on quantum computing. Quantum computing is 10 years away. It is a promising but nascent technology. Many industries, including financial services and defense, are dependent on traditional cryptography. Significant global investment is going to building quantum-resistant protocols. The Bitcoin community is engaging on research and development efforts. And if Bitcoin requires an upgrade, there will be a global consensus. Bitcoin will be stronger after a quantum upgrade. And Strategy will initiate a Bitcoin security program that coordinates with the global cyber, crypto, and Bitcoin security community. It's just more FUD, bro. Just keep buying your worthless clown coin. Oh, very pretty. Yeah. Look at how we do our Ponzi scheme. Whoa. Wow, that's so pretty. I want to buy Microstrategy now. Look at the spaceship. That's the stupidity of people that they're targeting. Oh, pretty lines. Oh, a line going up. Wow. We create currency. We reduce risk. We dampen volatility. We distill yield. There's no yield. It's fake yield. It's return of capital, you liar. Monthly cash. They're not dividends. Just obvious facts, people. Obvious. Look at this. Stretch tax equivalent yield versus other currencies. How misleading is this? So what they're saying is, okay, oh, this is so dirty. So this is the tax equivalent yield. So basically what they're saying is if you're like investing in treasuries or something else, you get the income and then you pay some tax on the income, right? That's how it works when you receive dividend income. Since they're paying return of capital, they're actually saying you're getting a tax benefit, right? So they're saying your tax equivalent yield is 17.9% for stretch. No, there's no yield. There's nothing. It's an illusion. They're giving you your money back. This 17.9% number is entirely misleading. And of course, for their assumptions, they use the highest U.S. federal tax bracket. See the green here? You see why this is in green? These are real yields. These are real after-tax yields. This is just them giving you your money back with big numbers on it. Ignore the numbers. Ignore the bars. They're just giving you your money back. And then they're taking the highest federal tax bracket and they're saying, oh, well, you actually get a tax benefit because we're not even paying you a real dividend. We're just giving you your money back. Where's the tax benefit? And what happens if I sell this later on? Oh, my cost basis is lower, which means I pay a higher capital gain. Oh, my God, this is dirty. Dirty. So you wouldn't know that without me, people. You wouldn't know that without me. Genius, by my course, bro. All right, so nothing but just nonstop misleading, fraudulent, disgusting shilling on here. Oh, this is gross. This is so gross. Illustrative models. Oh, wow, look at the big charts. Like, this is just an obnoxious presentation. Like, it just goes and goes. All right, let's read their principles. Buy and hold Bitcoin indefinitely, exclusively and securely. No, they'll sell it at some point. Trust me. Or if they don't, they'll at least sell their shares in the company. Prioritize Microstrategy common stock, long-term value creation. There's no value creation. Treat all investors with respect, consistency, and transparency. Oh, really? Posting a misleading yield, tax equivalent yield, that is not transparent. That is deceptive. This is so gross. Thank you. Man, if I had time, I'd actually oh, and then they talk about the software business. What a freaking joke. Okay, Bitcoin yield is a KPI that represents the percentage change in Bitcoin per share from the beginning of a period to the end of the period. So the Bitcoin yield is just how much Bitcoin they've bought divided by the number of shares. That's not a yield. They're just buying more Bitcoin. Bitcoin gain is a KPI that represents the number of Bitcoins held by the company at the beginning of the period multiplied by the Bitcoin yield for such a period. I'm so confused. Okay, so Bitcoin yield is the change in the Bitcoin per share. So that's not a yield. That's just them buying more Bitcoin. And then the gain is the number of Bitcoins held by the company multiplied by the Bitcoin yield. These are just this is horrible. What is this? They're just totally changing the definition of these terms. Don't even look at the word. When you see the word, it's not the word. It's not a word. It's just a replacement. It's so crazy. Oh, yield and gain. What a disgusting con man. All right, let's do member only comments. And then we're going to close this out, baby. Yeah. Where do we leave off? Oh, we got a super chat. GLW, think I have a winner after accumulating in the low 40s last year. Okay, let's add that to the list. GLW. What is GLW? Corning. Oh, I think I know what this is. All right, so GLW. Whoa, look at this chart, people. Look at this chart. Well, is this the company that's making the glass for the iPhone? I think that's the company. Oh my Lord. Yeah, you made some money on this one. Holy crap. Good for you. Now, would I probably sell it? Maybe. All right, we'll add that to the list. Did y'all see the White House posted about how good everyone feels about their finances and then deleted it when they got roasted? No, I didn't see that. Oh, somebody's gifted membership ended. I guess you have to sign up for the membership again. What are your thoughts on all this CapEx spending versus ROA and its impact on the stock market in the next 1 to 5 years? Nobody knows, dude. Nobody knows. You just, for me, it's wait and see. I think long run, like decades, we're going to be fine. But we just don't, nobody really knows. I mean, we're all just kind of guessing about whether this CapEx is going to pay off. So it's anybody's guess. I would just keep accumulating and never sell. The index, at least. Change that, and the tax people on unrealized gains didn't realize you were a I'm a communist when it comes to cryptocurrency. Oh, yeah. How's the micro dong small? It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Scam Cardone, my hero. Most analysts chase stocks up during the bull markets and adjust down during bear markets. It happens exactly the way the majority. Oh, I saw that during the clown market. GLW is a good company. I compete with them daily. They also announced a $6 billion Meta supply deal, expanding their glass off. Yeah, that is the company. I recognize that name. Microstrategy was up on Bitcoin on 12/31 because it was priced at about 100K per Bitcoin. They're at a loss now. Yep, they are. That's why their Bitcoin report shows a positive Bitcoin yield. It's just a made-up term. It doesn't. It's not a yield. Everything is deceptive with this company. Everything is deceptive with this company. That jet engine slide is ridiculous, and most of those slides are very misleading. There isn't a yield. It's exactly. Strongman, the formulas are intentionally misleading to impress the crypto masses. The line has to go up. I agree. It's disgusting. You have to be, they're targeting just uneducated people. Oh, skipping non-member comments. I know it's $5 a month. I can't afford to renew my membership unless I'm green today. Oh, you better be green today, boy. You better be green today. But there are great companies and can easily switch from CapEx to dividends and buybacks anytime they wanted to. Yeah, large tech could do that. Microstrategy could not because it's a piece of garbage company. All right, let's go see the market open, and then Daddy's going to the gym. Daddy's going to the gym. All right, we got China still up. Ignore the Dow Jones. I need to find another ETF because it's not showing what's actually going on in the pre-market. We got VXUS up 1.21%. VT, nice little day for VT. VU, my poo, up 0.5%. So still mostly green in the stock market. Crypto rallying, wonderful. Bitcoin's at 66,970. Ethereum's just like, ouch, all over the place. You know, I actually considered buying like a mimetic amount of Bitmine immersion because there's so much hate and fear over Bitmine immersion and so much hate of Tom Lee. I'm like, I'm sure this piece of garbage is going to rally at some point, but I didn't do it because I mean, I have liquid capital, but I just don't want to spend it on speculative nonsense. It's so hard for me to buy this garbage. I just can't do it. I just can't. I don't know how people buy this stuff. Like, there's no bottom, people. The bottom is zero. All right, large tech. Amazon's still down almost 9%. Okay, a lot of green, and then obviously the big red is Amazon, but I don't think the earnings were great. It's just people freaked out about CapEx. All right, let's see. Dave's still up 12%, trading at 175. Reddit's up just under 7%. Okay. I love Reddit. All right. Silver and gold, they're still up a little bit, but they're up a little bit less than when we checked last. Okay. Gold has been very resilient. Very resilient. Silver, not so much. All right. Oh, market's opening. Hold on. Crap. Time flew. Time flies when you're having fun, people. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Oh, VT up 1%. Yeah. Daddy. Man, International's cooking, baby. Cooking. All right, let's see. Subscriber requests. So we got Corning up 2%. SCHK up 0.58%. And XLE just going up in a vertical line, bro. Up 0.62%. All right, guys. Final member-only comments, and then we're getting out of here. Ryu, what's up? All right, guys, that's it. Like, subscribe, consider joining as a member to support the channel. Also consider booking a free, and I mean free, 30-minute tax consultation with me. I am a certified public accountant and would gladly do your business and or personal taxes any state in the United States. You can talk to me for free. I give you upfront fixed quotes, and I'll do your taxes like a boss. You can book a free consultation in the first link in the pinned comment below. And the second link in the pinned comment below is my link tree, which brings you to all of my additional services. I have a free Discord. I have a book, Stop Being a Broke Loser, on Amazon. I do consulting mostly for tax. I have sponsored videos. We're doing one at 12:30 today, actually, and a variety of other services that you can see by clicking on the second link in the pinned comment. I will see you guys at 12:30. Cheers.